Cops have a duty to serve and protect, and they share a bond so deep that they can put their lives on the line for each other. But how do cops respond when they discover that their comrades have abandoned their duty to protect and serve, and instead become serial killers in disguise?
Do you have it in your head or you have no idea?
I can knock it down to 1 or 2 years.
What do you think? How far back?
67. 60, maybe the end of 66. 67.
In today's video, we'll bring you 2 examples of when cops try to cover their crimes and get away with murder. We'll begin with the case of William Talley. On May 11, 2019, the police received a troubling phone call explaining that former police sergeant William Talley had been in an argument with his girlfriend Kelly Levinsoen. The caller claimed that William had fired a gun at Kelly at some point in the argument. After the gunshots, William quickly left the scene fleeing with Kelly's truck.
So I hung up with her and called our 911. Called her back, and she said then that he had a gun. They were asking them to leave. So I don't know anything.
Upon arriving at the scene, police decided to search the house to ensure that Kelly was safe. As they prepared to enter, every officer silently hoped that they wouldn't find Kelly dead.
But that's up in...
No, this is her house.
This is her house.
He was living here with her.
Okay. And he's the one that told you that?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's her name?
Kelly.
Upon entering the house, the officers could immediately see evidence of a physical altercation. As they entered the kitchen, though, they saw Kelly's dead body on the ground, and with all the evidence the police had leading up to this point, it wasn't difficult for them to identify their chief suspect. Nabbing him, however, was a different ballgame entirely. Officers knew that catching William would be difficult, as he had both police and SWAT training. But there would be a fortunate twist, as police would receive a phone call informing them that William had been in a car crash. The cops immediately rushed to the hospital, where they found William Talley with injuries from the accident.
Take care of you now.
2419.
Once William was certified by the hospital as being fit for discharge, he was immediately taken to an interrogation room so the investigation could truly begin.
The case that we're working on, former Sergeant Talley, we knew you had some type of relationship with him, whether it was a personal relationship, whether it was a friendship, or just as a co-worker. But we'll let you answer those questions. So we'll just start with just some brief questions about your knowledge about the former Sergeant Talley. How long have you known him?
Oh, man.
Notice how William mentions 2 names here, Becky and Kelly. We know, of course, that Kelly was William's girlfriend, but William was married in the past to a woman named Rebecca Talley, who he cheated on. Although William looks dazed and confused, considering he's just been discharged from a hospital after being medically cleared, makes it more likely that he's actually faking.
Sure? A cup of coffee? You sure? Well, we got a bottle of water here just in case you need it.
There's a small chance that William is actually this distressed over Kelly's death, but he was completely unaware of what he was doing at the time, which makes it more likely that he was just using this as an avenue to scream and vent over how he destroyed his life because of an argument. He's also probably frustrated over how easily he got caught. Remember, he has SWAT training and definitely knows how to avoid the police, but also immediately after going on the run, his plans were shut down in an almost unbelievable way.
We're going to put him in 12 anyway.
Okay. Well, okay.
Talley, you know me, right, bud?
We're taking him no matter what, right? No.
With the bandage, yeah, remember?
At this point, it's easy to see that William knows without a doubt that he's guilty, and he's doing everything he can to try and find a way out. After all his theatrics, the cops were relieved when William finally asked for a lawyer, putting an end to his theatrical interrogation. William's request for a lawyer, however, didn't help him at all, as the cops already had more than enough evidence to convict him. William Talley was sentenced to life in prison. Even though William was a local police officer and was acquainted with some of the officers involved in the investigation, this case was handled perfectly, which is in stark contrast to the case of police officer Matthew Boyan, a case so corrupt that police officers ended up investigating a shooting that never happened.
My position in that every bond hearing is the same. He is presumed to be innocent at this time. There are individuals that are charged with murder that are out on OR bonds now. I'm not asking that my client be out walking around at the Circle K like those other individuals are.
On April 15, 2016, police found Jessica Boyant hidden in the closet of her home with a gunshot wound to the head and a police-issued firearm in her hand. Reports claim the county sheriff pronounced Jessica dead at the scene. But there was a problem. Jessica was neither dead nor shot. At the ER, it was discovered that there was no entrance wound or bullets. Instead, they found evidence of blunt force trauma to the back of Jessica's head. These events alone make for a confusing case, but what's worse is that Matthew Boyant, the police's #1 suspect, told officers that he received a call from Jessica in which she threatened to commit suicide. After rushing home, Matthew said he heard 2 gunshots coming from the house and immediately called the police. Matthew was taken to the police station and interrogated. During the interrogation, Matthew would be caught lying about a crucial piece of evidence.
I am not conducting an internal investigation on you, okay? So Garrity is not implied. Okay, I want you to understand that, all right? All right, Garrity does not apply to this incident.
One key feature of dishonest suspects is the fact they usually try to over-explain as they feel they have to prove themselves to the detectives. They usually believe that giving the detectives lots of information would somehow convince them that they are being truthful. However, in reality, suspects telling the truth are more likely to give simple answers to questions because they don't have to think about it as much. That's a key fact to keep in mind as this interview continues.
All right. What this is a Miranda waiver. We'll read to everybody before we talk to them. Let's just got today's date at 7/27 to 17. The time was 17:22. We're in CID. Your name is Matthew Boynton. You're age 21. You live at 130 Lou May Road, Griffin. You completed the 12th grade school.
Now, notice how this entire speech was a response to the simple question, when was the last time you saw this bag? This was a question that could easily have been answered in one single sentence. The detectives already knew Matthew was lying about this bag, as that was the reason they brought him in for a second interrogation to start with. His responses, however, made them 100% sure he was hiding something, and they're about to point it out to him.
Officers with the Griffin Police Department. And we're going to advise you that you have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? Anything I say can be used against me in a court of law. Do you understand that? I have the right to talk to a lawyer and have a present with me while I'm being questioned. Do you understand that?
This issue surrounding the bag is actually the root of a bigger problem. The bag and its contents belonged to Jessica, so when it was discovered with Matthew after he told the police that he had handed all of Jessica's belongings, it proved that he had been lying under oath. Now that the detectives know Matthew was a liar, they know that every information he has given them was also probably untrue as well.
This bag, you saw it moving when you moved from your apartment to the main road.
I didn't know.
And your stepdad and Wendell saw it, and another female saw it. All right.
Okay.
The house and the apartments. Just for now.
Matthew has now confessed to lying under oath and stealing Jessica's bag, but there's still the question of his role in the assault and Jessica's presumed suicide. Strangely, the police never got to that part of the case, leaving many people with questions. Matthew was charged with stealing and lying under oath, and he resigned from the force after being placed on administrative leave. However, he was never charged for his role in what happened to Jessica Boyant. This has raised many questions, with many citing police corruption as the reason for the lack of charges, and the fact that the county sheriff just happens to be none other than Matthew's grandfather. This was the same sheriff who lied by pronouncing Jessica dead at the scene, and while Jessica thankfully survived, the head trauma she suffered resulted in her losing all memories of that night, which means that this case remains unsolved. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments, and please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos.